We're back. We're back. I had to restart the YouTube. Get in there, Scooter. YouTube thing is kind of a pain in the butt, but there's people watching it. I don't know why, but they are. I really don't. Hi, Suter.
Sup, G?
Nothing.
It's good to hear from the O'Mara boys.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Now, when I'm out in D.C., I'll try to hook up for lunch with Rob. I did the last time we were there.
I'll do that. When are you out in D.C.?
August 4 through 8. So unlike your interview this morning, it's been up on the board for a long time. Kevin was good from Big Dog.
Yes. No, I like him.
It was
I like
strong,
him a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I like him a lot. And I love the service. So, and that's cool.
Well, I'm a DirecTV guy.
Yeah, well, you should call him because they handle DirecTV, and call him and say your unit isn't working.
Hey, now you're getting personal.
Tell him it isn't working. And he'll get you another unit. He'll get you another DVR, Genie, whatever the hell it is. Are you sure? Yeah, call him. Yes, I am sure. Why do you look at me?
Then I will call it, because I don't know how this works.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I should call DirecTV corporate or...
Call him and ask him.
I'll call Kevin.
Local number, 338-6600.
I'll call Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't believe you've let it go this long. We are streaming video and audio worldwide.
Yep.
On YouTube, on the official 1630 KCJJ channel. Subscribe to that channel. Doesn't cost you anything. And then you'll see all of our live in-studio shows. The rest of the day and all the shows, including the Michael Mara show, if you miss it or you don't download a show, you can hear it here, of course, every afternoon. And it's on 1630kcjj.com. It's on TuneIn. It's on MyTuner. It's on the Sonos Internet radio system.
Yeah, but not on Streama yet. See, that's the one I'm waiting for.
It's not on Streama. I don't get what the deal is. They haven't picked it up yet, but it's on. It's on a bunch of others. It's on the Apple Radio app, and there you go. You can get to everything through our 1630kcjj.com.
All right, so I need to call Kevin at Big Dog then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell him it's not, it's not working right. You missed a heck of a Yellowstone the other night. I watched it last night. They're dropping the F-bomb like nobody's business.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's taping Nashville for me the last few episodes. No problem, okay? But it's not taping Yellowstone that I typed in. It taped Robin Williams on HBO, but it didn't tape Yellowstone. Does that mean maybe, no, I have to get it because I saw it on the channel lineup.
Yeah. It's on your guide.
So that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. Well, it's...
Huh? It's supposed to be able to tape two things at once. Yeah, you should be
able to tape.
So, well, let's start this thing, Steve.
Should we start this thing?
People are very excited about this program.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly sunny and beautiful for today, a high of 78. Tonight, mostly clear, lows in the upper 50s. And a mix of sun and clouds for tomorrow, slight chance of showers, and a high in the upper 70s. Still a slight shower chance on Sunday, again around 78 for a high. A few more storms could pop up again for Monday. Mix of sun and clouds and staying in the upper 70s. Around 80 with a chance of showers Tuesday. That's KCJJ weather. It's 64 degrees right now.
Weather brought to you by the Westport Touchless Auto Washes at Walmart in Iowa City and Coralville's High V. AllHawkeyes.com brought to you by Big Dog TV and internet, serving all of eastern Iowa with Dish, DirecTV, internet, and more. Don't call an 800 number. Call local. Call Big Dog at 338-6600. 338-6600. Also brought to you by Zephyr's Printing and Design and in Printed Ink on the Ped Mall. The Ox Yoke Inn. Supple's Flowers, the home of 1-800-800-ROSE. Sittler's LED Supplies. GT Carr and his crew at Supple Siding and Remodeling. Also, Mike's Lock and E-Keys for cars. Steve Anderson, Hawkeye Title and Settlement, and Premier Automotive in North Liberty. You hit a deer, slip a gear, call Premier.
If you have some fear,
Call Premier.
Yeah.
Here's Pat Harty from Hawkeyes.com.
If you're fab in gear, call Premier.
Good morning.
Oh, why so docile?
I'm just waiting for a chance to talk. You
If you see a pretty girl in Lear,
got to pick your spots on this show.
yeah,
Kick him up a little. Usually you have to turn him down.
yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Right.
That's great.
So how you doing, Pat?
I'm extremely busy right now. I'm so busy I haven't been able to. And I got make a couple dump runs today. I got just a lot of non-work stuff going on.
What, your stomach upset or?
No, dump Melrose Avenue dump. Iowa
okay.
City dump.
Oh, okay.
Got
Oh, landfill. Oh, okay.
yeah. I've never called dump runs. That's what you call it.
Well, that's when you have gastric upset.
Yeah, I didn't know what
No,
you
I
were
don't
talking
know.
about.
I don't have that, but I do. I just got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
A lot of non-work related, non-Hawkeye stuff going on right now. I didn't even write anything Hawkeye yesterday. I didn't have time. I still got a couple things left over from Big Ten Media Day I want to write about, and I will.
Were there some good surprises for you there, do you think? Or
What do you mean good?
I don't know.
Good.
Did you learn anything about the Iowa Hawkeyes?
The P.F. Chang meal was less than $40. That was a good surprise.
Yes, okay.
That was a good surprise. Did I learn anything surprising about the Iowa Hawkeyes? No, because they haven't started practice, so there's nothing to base it on. And none of the attrition never surprises me. Nate Whelan, maybe a little bit, like we talked about.
Yeah.
We talked about that on Monday, just because he was so soon, and he was from Iowa City. Usually, the closeness they stay for a while, but nothing major. I mean, Gary, and we didn't talk about this on Monday, and then. And I know where he's coming from. He's got to be politically correct. When he made that remark, if we ever decide to sell beer or alcohol at Kinnick, we're not going to do it because of money. We're doing it to improve the fan experience. And I know when I tweeted that out, and Gary knows what he's saying, but he has to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be politically correct. If they ever do decide to add alcohol, and I wrote a column 2 days ago, and I think it's going to happen within 3 to 5 years. It's because Gary basically said the other day, well, no, we're not thinking about it now, but with everybody else doing it, we'll be thinking about it later. And if everybody else starts doing something and they start making $1 million a year, I mean, Iowa is just going to do it. And I've had a couple of people reach out to me. It's disgusting that some fans would base whether they go to a game on whether they can drink a beer. It's really not that big of a deal. Everyone acts like it's like Jim Morrison and Foster Brooks going to the game, and it's not.
I don't think, though, they're not going to go to a game just to drink the beer, but
they want the option of being a.
Absolutely, and it adds to the experience.
And it's a legal substance that adults consume, and
most of them do it responsibly.
Yeah.
You know, if I spend $75 or whatever it is to go to a football game, would it be better to have a beer there? Yes, it would. For me,
without having to drink it before the game and then realize, because I know a lot of people say when they want to drink 2 or 3 beers, they don't like drinking one and then not having another one for 4 hours and then going to. Some people want to be able to just kind of have a steady flow. They're not going to get drunk, and Iowa can also make the prices enough to where that can be a deterrent to
they're going to be probably $8 or $9 each.
It's going to be,
and nobody's going to get drunk on $8 or $9 beers.
They need to be expensive enough to where somebody will have to be really determined and really want to spend a lot of money to get drunk. And to me, that's a deterrent in itself.
You know, like when Ann and I went to the Minnesota game a few years ago, we had a beer each half.
How much were they?
I think 8 or 850.
By the time they do it here, they'll be 10.
Oh yeah,
I
probably.
guarantee- Yeah.
But I don't care.
No, but you're a freaking adult. It just never made any sense to me that if you have enough money, you can drink, but if you don't, then you. It's like you have to have money to be able to control yourself.
Yeah, I don't get it. And the other thing that's kind of weird, and I don't see if you guys agree, I always thought they overreacted 10, 15 years ago when all of a sudden we got to cut down. They made it sound.
Absolutely.
They made it sound like it was what was the place the Altamont with the Stones.
Yeah.
where,
And
people were out-
they-
the hills. I mean,
And they lost part of the fan base there, and they haven't gotten them back.
but they're going to use that because what Gary kept saying. Well, things are so much better now, and I think we've all. I don't think things are that much different. I really don't. Other than the police aren't enforcing as much as they were. Of course, they were going to find a lot more citations and because they were looking way more aggressively.
Yeah.
Those 2 years when they were really pushing it. Now they've backed off, so things seem to be. I don't think things were ever sinister or as bad as Iowa made it out to be. But they're going to use that as we're going to now, since things have calmed down outside the stadium, we're going to allow beer to be. That's what will be a big part of their push to control
I think
the
you're
message.
They were getting money for that campaign. The feds and the grant money from Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and that can't drink or think. What was it? Think before you
Think
drink.
before you
Think
drink.
before you drink.
Just say no.
No, that kind of campaign is
Yeah, and you had
BS.
the Gestapo from Marion in here.
Well, and
they
it backfired.
But that's not happening
No.
anymore. So you're not getting the
No.
arrest and all that. But that's because Gary brought that up. He goes, things are completely different now outside the stadium, and I don't think they are. I don't think they were ever that bad.
Well, no, but they are completely different outside the stadium because they basically killed Lot 43.
Well, yes, different from a structural,
Yeah.
but I don't think there's a less aggressive, less violent, less dry.
No.
They act like it's gone from Jim Morrison to
the Poppy family.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to think of somebody really nice and innocent, and I just couldn't.
David Gates.
Well, he may. I mean, what's he like behind the scenes? We don't know. Could you imagine, though? I said earlier, you like Captain and Bud show up at the Iowa game, and their seats are right next to Foster Brooks and Jim Morrison.
Well, Bud, love it.
You think so?
Foster, hand me another beer.
They rushed this guy that was having a heart attack, and he passed away, but they're rushing
They
him.
didn't offer to help him.
They thought he was drunk,
Oh,
and he had a heart attack.
jeez.
And
It's not year
season.
after.
I'm thinking the 21 season they'll have beer. That would be my guess.
I'll go with Scoots.
You're thinking the 19 season.
Let's see. This is 2020.
Okay, I'm guessing. I'll guess 21.
All right.
I'll guess 21 because I think with the Big Ten contract that allows Iowa. I mean, it's not going to make or break Iowa, but if you can make
another
an extra
stream of
if you can
income.
make an extra million. I mean, Purdue made just under $500,000 in its first year.
And they don't have any fans.
But they did start it. It started. They halftime Morrison's just soiled himself, and
We can't sit on the bleachers because he's just messed himself.
he's fighting with Permar authority. He's fighting with authority.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well,
But
Bud does that.
I don't think Purdue's attendance lit the world on fire, but obviously as the season progressed, I remember looking at some of their games and looking at the stands and seeing less and less empty seats. I mean,
Yeah.
there were lots of years under Darrell Hazel and other coaches at Purdue. You look in the stands in
Danny Hope.
late October and Danny Hope, and there's over half that stadium's empty.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think the beer thing, and I understand Gary. I know he's got to be politically correct, but when he said that, my first words to myself were, "Yeah, right." I mean, the money is, and I get it. Money has to be the motivating factor in a lot of ways, and I understand why you can't say it from a political correctness point of view, but it will be interesting when they finally do it. They will spin it. I'm telling you. It'll all be built on the premise of we have fixed the problems here, the tailgating. We've taken care of the binge drinking and all that stuff, and we feel comfortable in doing this now.
And there's studies show that people actually drink less at their tailgates.
Oh, there'll
when
be
they
that.
Can have a beer in
They'll
the
hire
stadium.
they'll hire a company for about $60,000 to reach that conclusion.
You
But no,
bet.
that's what will happen, though.
It will be more than 60,000.
Well, I mean, it won't be Iowa doing that study, but somebody will do
No,
it. I mean,
exactly.
And yeah, they'll present it, and then I think before you know it, there will be. when you go, you can leave any part of that stadium, go right out into that concourse, and there'll be beer right there. And that's what we're talking about, because I've had people reach, well, you can get beer. I think some people think that you can, general admission, you can go into the suites where it is and get it.
No, you cannot.
You can't.
No.
You can't, unless you maybe know somebody. Like my brother's had times where he's had suites in there where if I wasn't working, I could have gone in there and had a.
Yeah.
But it's not like any stranger can just, hey, I'm from seat 20, I want to get a beer.
No, but if you are already in the press box, you could get a beer.
Oh yeah. But there's no beer sold. I mean, there's no beer in our part of it.
No, but if you go down to the outdoor club level.
Yes. Yeah. If you're in that area and you got a pass and stuff like that, yeah.
One of my favorite events here was when I was helping run some sound stuff for then a friend of mine that worked for the network. And he needed some cable, and we had some cable, and I met him on a Friday night. And it was about 4:30 to 4:45, and we look up, and Green, what was it, Chuck
Green?
Chuck Green and his guys were in this box taking kegs out of it. And it was, my friend goes, hey, they're taking Bill Krause's kegs out. And Bill Krause, at that very moment, was donating how much? $5 million?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
$5 million to the university for Krause Plaza. And so I called the station. We had it on the news at 6. He heard it driving home. And, in fact, he came up to us the next day at the tailgate. And said, thanks for telling me about it. He called them up, and that beer was right back up there.
Why were they taking it out?
Oh, was that during the shakedown period?
Yeah, that was during the shakedown.
Remember that song?
Yeah.
Who was that? Was that Bob Seger?
Bob Seger.
Can we talk about it?
Yes, but you can't hum it.
Can't hum it.
You're talking about shakedown.
You know how many? Yeah, I would just told that to Suter.
Are you? People assume that I've talked to listeners that you're joking about the humming and stuff like that.
No.
That's just the most asinine.
I saw people going to you.
YouTube is just ridiculous. If that's,
I saw people going, you know, music, Pat.
Can I? I know. Can I rip YouTube while we're on? We don't care, do we? That's the most stupid, ridiculous thing that I can't.
It's not really.
It's just dumb.
It's not YouTube. YouTube records everything. We can do it live because we pay.
So if we started humming songs or whatever, who's calling on that one? Hey, this is so-and-so from YouTube.
Hey, Pat Harty hummed 3 notes of
it's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's just ridiculous.
I'm just telling you that we pay, and this is the way it's been explained to me. We pay to disseminate it live, and we pay to put it on the Internet. So we're not, but we don't pay to distribute recordings of it, which we can't do. You don't own the rights. So that's why if you put it on, we can play music, but then we get rid of the videos. So, but if you play music during one of your recorded segments.
No, I understand that, but I don't get if I hum for 2 seconds of a song. Where does that come into the discussion?
I don't know that.
Did they actually tell you? Or you're joking, aren't you? See, he's joking. So could we sing?
I don't think he knows where the line is.
But he thinks.
I don't really know where the line is.
Because I've got people saying, "Hey, why don't you try to hum this?" And that's what's going to happen now. People are going to call in and start
hum this.
Hum this. That's the name of this now.
Hum this, MFer.
Like I was thinking, so we couldn't even sing the national anthem because that's copyrighted, isn't it?
Well, as long as you stand, you can.
I don't know that it's copyrighted.
Is it copyrighted?
I don't think. I think that's public domain.
The national anthem?
Yeah.
Well, probably. I mean, musically, it's an English drinking song. Okay,
do
we understand that?
Yeah, but I think it's, Isn't
it's an English drinking song.
Yeah, they should serve beer. At the stadium
during the anthem. They should
push
sales during the anthem.
Hello.
I can tell you what, buddy. If they make drinking legal in Kinnick Stadium, I am going to be protesting outside, throwing a hissy fit, smoking a cigarette.
Why?
Because alcohol does way more damage to people than smoking ever thought about doing. It costs insurance companies more money. It costs like
Oh,
more.
cigarettes.
It's crazy. But yet, it's illegal for me to smoke outside.
But Jeff,
in a
wait,
bar.
Jeff, I think and I hadn't really thought about it that way. One difference though, when somebody next to you is smoking a cigarette, you're impacted by that more than somebody next to you drinking alcohol if you don't want to drink alcohol.
I
Get it?
disagree.
You agree with that?
I gotta smell it. They usually spill it.
Well, okay, that's different than inhaling it into your lungs as secondhand smoke.
No, it's not. It's no different. If I have a reaction to alcohol and somebody has a reaction to cigarettes, and I'm sorry, secondhand smoke is a bunch of crap. I mean, maybe if you're in a small enclosed
Like a stadium?
space.
like a football stadium.
Now, wait a second, Jeff. Because I've known you how many years?
45.
Yeah, and I've had cancer twice.
Right.
And you don't smoke.
That's about the logic of secondhand smoke, right there.
What about global warming?
Yeah.
What?
What about global warming? I think it's caused by.
Sure on that.
I think it's caused by secondhand smoke. To be honest with you.
Because when I was a kid, you were a kid. We're the same age, Pat.
Yep.
And
50s.
they taught that we were going into an ice age in school,
Yeah, they
and that
do.
we were going to starve to death, and blah 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 blah.
Man, I missed that part. Were we really going to? I'm not down.
Yes.
I
No,
must
we
have.
were going into the Ice Age.
Okay, I don't remember that part,
Yeah.
but that's. I think I had really
Yeah.
bad ADD.
And then we thought the Russians were going to bomb us.
Well,
so
yeah.
they made us
Yeah.
go under
To the desk.
our plywood.
I'm not that
beds.
old.
But
That's
see,
you
we
guys.
were.
No,
Jeff, you
what
aren't
they
that
did-
old. We didn't go under the desk, Jeff. We were after that.
No, I had to lift my desk up because I had to lift top and put my head inside, so that way if concrete fell, it chopped me in half.
I never remember having to do any type of atomic bomb stuff. When I started school in '70,
Yeah, we had to do all
Kindergarten.
that, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
We had to
knew
go
that
out
we
in the
were safe.
halls, and you had to not look at the bright light. And I always wondered, how would you know there's a bright light unless you're looking?
So they-
Bye.
Goodbye.
I always felt safe underneath that desk during nuclear rehearsals, you know.
but I understand where Jeff's coming from. Cigarettes are now being single. Alcohol is
Yeah.
the one survivor.
Yeah.
It's the one thing that's accepted
Because
in our
they tried
society.
to get rid of it, and it didn't work. Just like
Oh,
they're,
yeah.
you know, just like one day,
But getting rid of
everybody will be
cigarettes is-
smoking pot.
Getting rid of cigarettes seems to be working. And I'm not. I mean, I've never.
Well, when
smoked.
you have to buy a carton, $75.
But and I understand. And I agree with a lot of what Jeff said, but I disagree with him about secondhand smoke.
Hello.
Hey, I just called to say it's lonely old grandpa Dirk.
I told you.
Don't screw around, Dirk.
Close.
Don't screw around.
You were talking about a shakedown.
Shake
Jay
down.
Ferguson.
Yeah,
Shakedown
Shake
cruise.
down.
Jay,
And
Some
didn't
of the
Tom Petty
best-
have Shake Down?
yeah, great song. Great song.
No, that's
Some of the
breakdown.
best
Breakdown.
lyrics you'll
Breakdown.
ever
Okay.
find.
Breakdown.
You miss your home, Lord. You miss that woman. The captain laughs and says, "You boys want some sex? You can squeeze the sails and you can lick the decks."
What the hell's going on? Is
He's reciting.
Jay Ferguson?
Yeah.
Jay Ferguson.
The only song by Jay Ferguson.
Formerly of
Didn't he
Spirit.
do something called Thunder Road or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down
Thunder
on
Island.
Thunder
Thunder
Road.
Island.
Thunder Island.
Thunder Island.
All right.
You're thinking of, don't do it. Damn it.
But you're not on YouTube.
Yes,
Isn't that
we
the
are.
deal?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are on YouTube.
On this show?
Yes.
We owe YouTube probably $100
Yes.
just for that little blurt right there by me. And I was air guitaring. I think they hit
Yeah,
you.
see, when we do this show and we record it, we have to take a break, get rid of the other segment because it's got songs in it that we can't disseminate by recording. So then we take a break. We come back in 2 minutes with this show.
We can't have music on anymore.
Yeah.
What about lyrics? What if lyrics are
No,
relevant?
you can't have anything copyrighted by any publishing company, song.
But I could
singer.
say, hey, you, and I could be referring to Hunter, not singing, I wasn't singing Pink Floyd. I was saying, hey, you, to Hunter. What do you think, sir?
If I get flagged and kicked off this channel, they'll be held to pay.
If you got kicked off this channel for this, then YouTube's got serious issues. Wouldn't you agree, Tom?
I am the warrior.
God damn it.
That's scandal, isn't it?
I think it's warrior.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
So, Hawkeye question. I'd still like to know more about our former City High quarterback who has left the program.
All I've been told is that he wants to go JUCO and resurface at another Division I school. I think a lot of it was he was kind of buried on the depth chart, and he had dealt with injuries, from what I'm hearing. Tyler's been trying to get a hold of him. Hasn't gotten. The only time I've ever seen him even paraphrase or anything was I think Blair Sanderson said that Whelan confirmed to him the day all that stuff broke back here that he was leaving and was going to go to a junior college. And my guess was that it was just it's playing time. I think every guy that left that team without medical stuff was all based on playing time.
So who is our number 3 quarterback today?
No one. I mean, they don't. I don't think they even know right now because they haven't resumed practice from the spring. And I would say number 3 is probably still the true freshman, Spencer Petras.
You would imagine.
Yes, because I don't think enough happened in the spring for a true freshman to move ahead of Peyton Manziel. So it's probably Petras. And then they'll go in, and Petras has a chance now to beat out Peyton Manziel for that backup spot. And then if Petras does get that backup spot, it'll be interesting to see if Kirk uses it. So much has been said about this 4-game rule, which is good. But like we've talked about, I don't think that 4-game rule is going to have Kirk thinking, if it's 20-17 in the third quarter, again, hey, let's put Spencer in and take advantage of that rule. I mean, a lot will be determined on if those situations surface in games this year, if they end up using that with their quarterback. I think they'll do it with other guys on special teams and what have you. But no, we don't know. Right now, I'd say Spencer Petras is the third teamer just based on the fact he just got here.
Okay. And are they at the 85-man
No, I think
limit?
they're below it right
They're
now.
a little bit
Well,
below.
They're a little
That's
bit
what I
below.
thought.
Yeah, they're a little bit below it right now, but it'll all work itself out. They've got some guys. They gave Mekhi Sargent a scholarship. My guess is a couple walk-ons will get them for this semester, and it'll all work out. But no, they went from being at 87 to what are they now, about 80?
I think 81 or
81 is what somebody had something that they were down to 78, and then that got quickly. I think they're at about 81 right now.
After all these years, it still amazes me that they come into this point just before the Big Ten luncheon or whatever you call that, and they're over the limit, and then they drop.
It happens this stuff happens
every year.
It happens every year at every school. I mean, players, it's just, when you have a roster that involves 85 scholarship players and 120 kids overall, attrition it just happens. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, Dirk, we got to take a break.
Okay. Hey, Captain, thanks for having Richard at the state tournament last night. It was really fun to listen to him bring home the Regal victory. Very exciting game.
We will be there again tomorrow, 1:30.
Yep.
We've got it. And then after the game, we go to the Iowa Speedway for the U.S. Cellular 250. So.
Hot dog. Thanks, guys.
Yep. Yeah.
Breakdown.
Knock it. Hello.
Hey, guys.
Corey, you are not allowed to sing on this segment.
You are not going to want me to sing, I promise. And you won't hear me sing.
As long as we understand each other. Here's
Now, if I was riding my bike today, I might be singing.
Boy, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Oh, it's a good day out there.
It is. This is perfect for Ragbri. It really is. Here's Corey Urian, Wells Fargo's financial advisor with the markets.
Thanks, guys. Stocks fluctuated on Thursday. The Dow added 112 points to 25,527. The S&P 500 fell 8 points to 2837, and the Nasdaq slipped 80 points to 7852. The major averages finished mixed as strong corporate earnings helped propel the Dow higher, while a steep decline in Facebook weighed on the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite and S&P 500. In geopolitical news, the European Union and the United States announced they will refrain from levying any additional tariffs on imports as the two parties work on a new trade agreement. On the data front, initial jobless claims advanced to 217,000 in the prior week. Separately, durable goods orders rose 1% in June, below the consensus estimate of a 3% gain. Energy stocks provided a tailwind to the market in conjunction with de-escalating trade tensions and higher oil prices. Consumer staples also outperformed as Mondelez advanced 4.3% to 43.27 after it topped its earnings forecast. The technology group was down the most as Facebook tumbled 19% to $176.26 after disappointing quarterly results caused the social media giant to post the largest single-day market cap loss in history. Meanwhile, consumer discretionary stocks also underperformed as Amazon lost 3% to 1,808 ahead of its earnings announcement after the closing bell last night. Today's stocks are mixed. The Dow is currently up 10 points to 25,536. The S&P 500 is off 3.8 to 2833, and the Nasdaq is off 24 to 7827. The major averages are little changed as investors assess the latest earnings and economic updates. On the data front, second quarter GDP came in at 4.1% annualized rate, the highest reading in 4 years. Meanwhile, the first quarter annualized GDP growth rate was revised upward to 2.2% from 2%. A separate update today is expected to reveal consumer sentiment eased slightly in July from the prior month. In earnings news, Amazon is climbing 4.4% to 1,887 after the online retailer revealed strong growth in its cloud and advertising businesses and easily topped the analyst forecast. Meanwhile, Twitter is falling 11.6% to 37.95 as the social media company revealed the decline in monthly users during the second quarter. Shares of ExxonMobil are declining 4% to $80.85 after the energy giant missed Wall Street earnings estimates. The European markets are mostly higher at mid-session as trade tensions between the U.S. and European Union appear to be easing. The Euro Stock 600 is rising 0.4%. In Germany, the DAX is adding 0.5%. Overnight in Asia, China's Shanghai Composite is declining 0.3%. on the session, while Japan's Nikkei is up 0.6%. Treasury's a little change with the yield on the 10-year note down 1 basis point to 2.97%. In commodities, WTI crude is off 0.1% to $69.56 a barrel, and gold is slipping 0.4% to $1,220 an ounce. Life has a way of throwing unexpected events and new opportunities our way. When your life goals change with time or fluctuating market conditions throw your plan off course, Wells Fargo Advisors investment planning process offers the flexibility to make the adjustments you need to live the one life you have the best way you can. When life happens, we can help. Corville or Iowa City, call Daryl Courtney, Adam Haleska, or Corey Urian at 319-338-3799. That's 319-338-3799. You can also reach us toll-free at 866-217-2369. Or stop by the office and see us at 501 12th Avenue, Suite 201 in Corville. This is Corey Urian, a financial advisor with Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. Thanks, fellas. Have a good weekend.
You too.
We're as close as your smart device. Just ask Alexa to play KCJJ on TuneIn. Our video and audio streams are powered by Lucky's Market at the Iowa City Marketplace.
With a look at your forecast, I'm meteorologist Ashley O'Connor. Nice weather again today with lots of sunshine. Highs this afternoon will reach the upper 70s. Breezy northwest winds could gust near 20 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies this evening with low temps tonight falling to the upper 50s. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow with highs in the upper 70s. A few isolated showers are possible tomorrow evening. Otherwise, mainly cloudy tomorrow night with lows around 60. Partly cloudy Sunday with highs around 80. That's KCJJ weather. Currently, it's 66.
And allhawkeyes.com. We're back. Back. Oh.
You're back.
Yeah.
Now we're back.
Now you're back.
We're all back.
We're all back. Hunter's eating some nastiness at his desk.
What is it?
I don't know.
What is it, Hunter?
He's chewing a lot, so I think it's salad.
Oh, he's eating a salad a lot when I come in here.
Yeah.
And, now I was just checking to see if it's worthwhile to record this thing and put it on YouTube, and you've had 113 views from your last appearance.
Was that good or bad?
That's pretty good.
I don't know.
Doesn't sound like much to me.
Doesn't sound like much compared to the 30,000 that are listening right now.
Well,
but
I know, but we just went on the damn channel.
Are there 30,000 listening right now? If there
30
are,
to 40.
I'd like to just say hi to all of them. All 30.
Every last one of you.
According to other people's numbers, not ours, there's 30 to 40.
According to your numbers, there's 90 to 100,000.
Yeah,
right?
there's like a gazillion.
There's so much that sometimes that tower out there can't even take it.
Yeah, I can't take it.
It can't take it. So, but what were we talking about before we were rudely interrupted by that break?
I think we were talking about Tom Petty and
Oh yeah, that's right. You were
Jay Ferguson.
You were pimping captain. You were actually singing little spots of songs, and I have a feeling that is going to become.
Captain was getting a little testy.
Yep.
Hello.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
You're the wind beneath my wings.
He's going to tell him about how
That happens at Hy-Vee now. Hey, this guy sees me the other day. He hums like 2 seconds of a song and asks if that would get us banned from YouTube. That was in the produce aisle.
his Twitter account. People are going,
no songs,
no songs,
no music. Yeah, so. But like Shooter said, keep peace in the toolbox. We got to adjust.
It is.
So I think the callers are going to help us because and I guess if we press the envelope, eventually we'll hear from the clowns at YouTube. Clowns, they're clowns.
Clowns to the left of me.
Clowns to the right.
And who sent in the clown? Didn't somebody send in clowns?
Yeah.
That was your gal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll never play that. I'll never play that. I don't care.
Don't you want to get her into a big battle with YouTube? She'll accuse YouTube of getting rich off her. Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Back to the Hawks. Big recruiting weekend coming in. This is really young. These are like guys who are going to be sophomores and juniors. That means they were freshmen last year. These guys are like 14, 15 coming in. I don't know anything about them, but they're young, and my guess is they're probably happy.
So these are class of 20 and 21, is that right?
Yeah. Class of 20. Yeah, some of these kids can't even drive yet, but I mean they're ranked, but they're being ranked by various recruiting. Timmy is
ridiculous.
Timmy, we understand. I like the rankings. They give you, they do the profile like height, weight, like. With some of these kids, they're so young, they probably have like bedtime, 9 p.m. But no, and I'm sure there's part of Kirk that's probably, because we've talked to Kirk about it, you feel a little awkward recruiting kids so young, but you have to because everybody else is.
That's the environment now.
You just have to do something to keep up with the Joneses, isn't that the...
Yes, and if you don't, you're going to be left in the dust.
What about Me and Mrs. Jones? I love that song. You like that song, Captain?
No.
I'm not singing it.
Can you turn him down a little?
Now it's God, it's from one to the other.
Do you want me to sing a few notes of that song
No,
so you know which one it is?
Yeah, I know
Steve?
exactly which one it is.
Do you like that song?
So if I were just to sing the first word, the...
Me.
What?
Me. Think that'll get us? I think we're okay.
You really don't like that song?
Uh-uh.
Man, I for some reason I've always liked that. And just
Why
the two of us
like
by
that
Bill.
and you don't like The Sign?
The Sign.
Yeah.
You talking about the movie or the?
No, the song.
Oh, the song by.
I Saw the Sign. Yeah.
That's just.
Or is it called The Sign?
Yeah.
I thought it was I Saw the Sign.
It's
No?
just too bumpy and poppy and just.
Yeah, but some guy moaning because he's screwing around with some married woman.
I don't know. The guy's vocals are pretty impressive.
They are good. I agree.
It's just.
He's
I don't
gone.
know.
Didn't he die? He's dead.
Who was it?
Billy Paul.
He had a thing going on, though.
He probably is. That song was, 50 years ago?
Yeah, not anymore.
And if he was in his 30s when he sang a song 50 years ago, a lot of those guys, they're gone, and some of it's just from natural causes.
So that would...
Mick Jagger's 75. That was yesterday, right? Yesterday was Mick Jagger's 75th birthday.
Yeah, I still think he's repulsive, but that's just me.
When you say repulsive physically or just over...
Yes.
Yeah, he kind of... He and Steven Tyler have always kind of resembled
a little bit
in my eyes.
I will accept that.
They both kind of look alike. And they were some other radio station, national, and I was listening yesterday, was joking about Mick celebrating it with his 21-year-old wife. Is she really 21, or are they exaggerating like we do?
I think.
Could you imagine being her parents, who are probably my age?
He's recruiting young.
But could you imagine, her parents are probably in their late 40s, early 50s. And could you imagine having a kid whose boyfriend is 20 years
75?
Nick Jagger's 21 years older.
2 years ago, Billy Paul.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, at 81. Hello?
And I just want to go on record. I am not anti-drinking. I'm not.
Okay.
I am anti being told what we can and cannot do. Period. And with that being said, Mama has a squeeze box she wears.
Okay.
Never liked that song much.
No, hate that
Did
song.
not like. Never really did like that song by The Who.
And it was a poor double entendre, and no, I didn't like that song.
I like it.
Love Magic Bus, Going
Happy
Mobile.
song.
Yeah, I just never liked Squeezebox.
No,
Just
me
never.
neither.
I'd much rather hear "Don't Let Go of the Coat."
Yeah.
Much better song. So, back to the Hawks. Basketball recruiting. I read a story that Kieran Brooks or whatever. Keone announced, and the story told the guy the 5 officials were Michigan State, Indiana, UCLA, North Carolina, and one other one. I can't remember who it was off the top of it. And that he was going to try to see Georgetown too. He didn't even mention Iowa in this story. So
Well, he did an unofficial here.
He did an unofficial here, but he's not.
No. Then.
Well, I don't think I don't. To me, it sounds like maybe he's not really. I don't think he's officially ruled them out, but he has his. Oh,
he's a small forward, right?
Yeah, and they've got. But so's Malik Hall, and he's supposedly now their number one target in the 19. It's just weird. I'm with Feeney on this. I can never remember a time when the only prospects you know about Iowa recruiting are mostly 4- and 5-star guys who they don't seem to have much of a chance for. But that's where they're at.
Well, it's a chicken and egg thing. I mean, you need to get better players to have a better team.
But there's a lot of really good 3-stars out there.
I know.
There's a lot of really good high 3-star, a lot of good Aaron Whites and stuff out there, and they don't seem to be finding the Aaron Whites as much as they did when they first got here, the Bryce Cartwrights.
Oh, that's true.
But Malik Hall, I listened to because now I read something from your boy at the Register about how Iowa's just right there, and that's their new target now. It's almost like they've kind of moved on from since Brooks announced his 5 visits, and Iowa wasn't one of them. But this guy's like this Malik Hall, because he goes to Sunrise where Gabe Olaseni went. But so I'm like, okay, I'm going to listen to a video of this guy. I want to see if this is true. So I went and found a video from him from 2 days ago at some camp, and he mentioned, they asked him about recruiting halfway through, and he mentioned like 7 schools and didn't mention Iowa.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think. I don't know. That's what John's always saying
Well,
to
it
me.
sure doesn't sound good, does it?
But I don't. Maybe he just didn't think about him, because then you got the Register writing about they're right there with this kid. They're all over him. He loves them. But then I listened to the kid do a 2-minute video, and he raves about Kansas, Oklahoma, Kansas State, Purdue. I think he mentioned Purdue, but he never mentioned Iowa. So I don't. This is just the 19th class is hard to gauge right now, because John was telling me the other day he usually has a pretty good feel for who they're going to get. He said the only one that's really surprised him was Garza, and but he says he has no clue who's going to join Patrick McCaffrey in this class. And I know they're looking, even though they're not scrambling to find point guards, they still seem to be looking.
They're looking,
and I mean, I've seen the Noah Hutchins, the Andre Gordon, and that other kid with 3 names. It's hard to gauge on highlight films, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to criticize any of them. These are high school kids. I would never do that, but I will say that it's at least from appearance on tape and ratings,
they don't appear to be as good as Carton.
It's a big drop from DJ Carton.
Yes,
so we'll see. And they haven't offered yet. But I don't think they need a bunch of small forwards right now, because let's say by chance they were to get Malik Hall or the Kieran Brooks or whatever. Okay, then at some point you're going to have them, Joe Wieskamp, and Patrick McCaffrey all playing small forward. People are like, well, Wieskamp's a shooting guard. Yeah, he can be, but that's not his best position. I'm convinced he's a much better small forward at his size with his skill set. And I know Fran's always talking about playing positionless basketball, but still, you don't want too much of it. And to me, Patrick McCaffrey almost has to play small forward. I don't think he's got quite the handles or the quickness and everything to be a shooting guard, and he obviously doesn't have the girth.
And he's not big enough to be a
He's
forward.
got to play small forward.
Absolutely.
So to me, it looks like right now they're going for just the best player they can possibly get, hopefully land a 4 or 5 star they can promote that, but it's at a position where I don't think they need that. They don't need help a big-time help at small forward. I mean, people will say, well, if you can get a 5-star, you take it. Okay, I understand that. But I don't think they can get any of these guys, but they're wasting a lot of time going after these guys to where they're maybe not, I don't know.
You think there are areas of greater need?
Well, yes, shooting
so
guard, point guard. Guard.
Yep.
Guard. Just going to say guard the rest of the show. I'm just
guard.
I can't think of.
I have to.
You got YouTube on the line?
This is important information. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the head of the European Commission for Trade, a guy by the name of Jean-Claude Juncker.
Van Damme. I thought you were going to say Van Damme.
Keeley.
Explained global trade policy to President Trump using a dozen simple, brightly colored flashcards. Seriously, and I'm not kidding.
It's like nursery school.
I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding.
I'm not kidding. That's from the Wall Street Journal this morning.
And they're really pro-Trump, aren't they?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
he was in Dubuque yesterday. Did you go up to see him?
But we digress.
Yeah, I did.
Why didn't we do the show live from there? We could have had him on.
No, the guys from KGYM did their show live.
They were up there the whole time.
They were not. Were they really?
No, not at all.
Okay. Why didn't we go up there?
We got to make radio great again hat.
Wouldn't you have loved? Wouldn't you love to have Trump on?
I asked Trump to come on.
What did he say?
He said, I can't.
Hater.
He
You're
can't
fake.
because if I come on and I start singing, then
we're in trouble. I'm not gonna protect you against YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what Trump said.
He said, I'll fight with every country in the world, but I won't take on the copyright tribunal.
Not taking on YouTube.
Yeah. Hello.
Good morning. Hey, Pat, I'm standing with solidarity with you against the Soviet-style repression there by YouTube.
I agree.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
I was just calling on basketball recruiting.
Uh-huh.
How many scholarships do they have to give away in 20?
Oh, in 20?
They're going to have 6.
They're going to have it. They're going to have 6, I believe. That's assuming Tyler Cook leaves, right?
Yes.
6 if Cook leaves, which I think he will.
That's a lot of scholarships.
Yes, and I hope he doesn't use.
1 year in basketball.
I hope he doesn't use them all. I would rather have him use 4 or 5.
Stagger him a little bit.
Yeah, because he's had times where his big recruiting classes usually aren't very good. I mean, I hope he staggers them.
Yeah, I would agree with your concern about basketball recruiting because it's hard to figure out what they're trying to do.
Yes, that's my problem, and that's been John Feeney, my Saturday Sports Buddies partner. John follows recruiting a lot closer than I do, and he just cannot figure out what their strategy is right now. And John's the biggest Iowa basketball fan you'll ever. He wants them to win so badly, but he's frustrated because he just can't figure out what they're trying to do. They're not going to get these 5-star guys. They're just not. And it's just you waste so much time or spend so much time on that, then these good 3-star guys end up going elsewhere. And that's his concern.
Do you think there might be some pressure from above to step up recruiting, and that's why they're going with this?
No, Iowa doesn't operate that way. Gary Bart is not that hands-on. He's not that hands-on, and I don't think Gary Bart I think he still has a lot of confidence that last year was a fluke. But, no, I don't think that goes on. This is just a strategy they've chosen to take.
How many guards should you have on a team?
To me, I think you need to have 5 to 6 guards, but you need to have at least 1 or 2 just break-down athletic quick guards. You have to. And I think you have to have 1 or 2 shooters. Even Iowa's guards tend to be all the same thing. Other than Bohannon, Connor McCaffrey, 6'5", left-hander. Macy Daly, 6'6", left-hander. Isaiah Moss, they're all similar. They're not. There's no Bryce Cartwright. There's not even a Cully Payne type guard.
So numbers-wise, we probably have enough guards, but what you just said is right. They're too similar to each other.
Well, how many guards are they going to have?
Well, we've
4.
got Macy Daly, Frederick.
Yeah, and Macy Daly is a converted guard who I still think is probably more comfortable playing small forward, but he can't.
I kind of agree with you, but I mean,
But yeah, he's a guard. They've turned him into a guard out of necessity.
Okay, so you got Bohannon, Connor, Macy Daly,
and
C.J. Frederick, and Isaiah Moss. So that's the low end. That's 5.
And that's
guards.
all guys other than Bohannon, 6'4" to 6'6", all either small forwards when they got here or shooting guards when they got here. Jordan Bohannon was a shooting guard when
Yes.
he got here. They've got, I mean, numbers-wise, it's not that bad. They just don't have enough diversity.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I just think this is it's just a very mysterious time to try to decipher their trajectory for the next couple years. And because on the looking at 20, that Xavier Foster, you don't hear much talk about him anymore either.
No.
I don't think.
Let's see, Fran's trying to do what only one other coach at Iowa has been able to do, George Raveling, for the 3 years he was here. Now, in fairness to George Raveling, he was piggybacking off Lute Olson. Iowa was hot when George kind of brought the program down. He didn't make the tournament his first year, but George Raveling was the only coach for obvious reasons. He had a great name, and I think being an African American helped George Raveling. Don't you? I mean,
absolutely.
I don't want to turn it into a racial thing,
No.
but it's common sense tells you that.
Absolutely.
And he was a big name. He was a well-respected man, but Iowa was hot after Lute Olson left. They've got no energy right now. They're coming off a 4-14 season. And yet I give them credit for, I think part of this is it's like they're trying to look at fans. We're going after the best. We will not be denied. And it's great to write about when the recruiting process is going on. But if you don't get any of these guys, after a while, it's almost like you're crying wolf. It's just, and I don't know. Like I said, that Brooks kid did visit. But I just read a story where his 5 officials, Iowa's not one of them. To me, that does not bode well for Iowa.
That means I think we're done.
I think they're done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you have to remember, George had a little help, I think, with those recruiting classes, too.
Oh, times were different back then. I get it. No, you're right. I get it. But George did have an appeal that not many Iowa coaches have had. I mean, George.
That is very true.
I mean, George, and it wasn't just because he was black. George was black, but he was charismatic. He was well-respected. He was successful. He was a former player, and he was about 6'5", 6'6". Eddie Horton and guys like that came here because of George Raveling.
And he had the warm-up suits, too.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
And I wasn't here. It was before my time, but he used to eat pizza at his post-game press conferences. And one story was he was eating a big piece of pizza and a piece of sausage rolled off to the table and bounced on the floor.
So you got to contrast that with Ralph Miller, who just smoked one unfiltered cigarette after another. He would fill up at this ashtray and
lived. Didn't he live into his 80s?
Ralph, I think he did.
Yeah. No, that's the story. Ralph was always smoking too. Yep. But no, I'm with you, caller. It's just confused. I don't want people to think I'm criticizing. I'm just confused at what Fran. I admire them for trying to shoot for the stars, but I'm just not sure it's the best thing. And I'm sure if Fran heard this, he'd be like, "What do these idiots know?" And that's his right as a coach, because Fran knows a hell of a lot more about basketball and recruiting than I do. But I just have witnessed before. I just don't want to see the Tyler Ulis, Trey Dickerson thing go on over and over, because you do too many of those and you're in trouble.
I totally agree with you there. And one more thing, you were talking about Jean-Claude Juncker.
Yes.
If you want to have some fun, Google his name and NATO summit, and you'll see somebody who has less stability than Vodka Sam. They had some big ceremony, and they basically had to carry him off the podium because he had that many.
Yeah.
Wow.
You understand these people are controlling our lives. You understand that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, caller. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now, Vodka Sam, by all
think anyone
sources, is straightened things out.
She's mineral water, Sam, now.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone has made a band? See if can we look up names of bands now still? Or is that,
Yes.
Do you think there's a band now called Vodka Sam? That'd be a good name. Be a good name for a band.
Actually, it would. I'm going to say no.
I'm with Suter. I'm guessing there's not.
But if there is, it's an Iowa band.
Yes. Now, what was that from? What was her?
Oh, she got arrested with a blood alcohol count that was like 0.3.
No, but the band
7 or something.
Big Bang did a song called Vodka Sam.
Do you think they did it? Did they do it since she was?
And they did it in 2014, August.
So that would have been that was right about her time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vodka Sam will go down. And did you guys ever have her on the show?
No, but I liked Vodka Sam. I thought she maybe had a little too much to drink, but
it happens to all of us.
Not me.
Yeah, because you don't drink. I don't drink too much very often anymore. I actually drank too much last night. I had like 3.5, 4 beers. That's too much. Over an extent, I had 1 or 2 of them with dinner, and then drank a couple more later. And I'm like, wow, I killed almost a 6-pack. I used to be able to do that in my sleep. I don't do that. I don't do that very often anymore. What would a 6-pack do to you?
Huh?
You imagine him drinking a 6-pack? What would happen to him if he drank
couldn't.
a 6-pack with 2 shots of Crown Royal?
I couldn't.
You couldn't
You
do
couldn't.
it.
You'd be in a
I
fetal.
imagine I could
You
do it.
no, you'd be in
You
a
would get
fetal.
sick.
You'd be in a fetal after 2 beers.
No, you would get
You'd be
sick.
crying to Jan.
Hey, Jan, sing something out of you.
Yeah, you'd be doing a lot. I'll say what?
Here for their 6 notes.
One other thing, Jan. This is my house.
You know what it is? Now,
We're going to watch Sugarfoot.
sugar effing foot. Get me another beer.
I have to admit, though, I did not realize that there were rules like this in our free society.
We just don't know where the line is. I'm guessing it's the same place where the copyright line is.
But why was there not this with Ustream?
I have no idea.
Why would they be so drastically different?
I don't have
You guys are going to have to dig.
any idea.
You're going to have to look that up and find out why.
I
Put
tried.
Tommy on that.
I try, yeah.
Tommy's Mr. Social. I mean, he's on YouTube and Ustream and Chatwat and
Chatwad.
Tommy's on.
I would like to start a site called Chatwad.
I don't believe that. I don't think Tommy is on Ello. I don't think he's never mentioned Ello.
what's Ello?
It's another social media thing.
He's on Instagram, Snapchat, or what is it? Snapchat?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like,
I don't know. And then there's what else is there?
farmanimals.org.
Well, of
I
course,
know he's definitely on that.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Those are the big 3.
Yeah.
Instagram seems to be getting bigger and bigger with the kids.
It does.
Why is that?
Because they're
Pictures.
getting off Facebook.
Actually, we had somebody explain it to us the other day. Why? Actually, who was it? It was a kid. They like Instagram because you can do more with visuals and
Yes.
stuff. Whereas Twitter, your message is usually in your words and what you say.
And they will tell you that the adults have ruined Facebook, and they're not wrong.
Did you see that was I know he's not like going to be knocking on your door for a job, but how much money? What's his name lost the other day in the stock market?
Unbelievable.
Like a $13 billion.
Yeah.
Or $19 billion.
And their company, it was the biggest
in all history.
in the history of that was.
Yeah, but on the other hand, they're trying to clean the damn
And
thing
it's
up.
kind of like the stock market. You got to be patient.
Yeah.
They knew this was going to happen while they're trying. I
See,
don't know.
People are so stupid. The damn thing has got, I don't know, 200 billion people
That's been
using it.
That's been a mistake I've made. Is I've never really gotten into Facebook, and it's.
But it is. It's got it's got all these billions of people using it, and these guys, oh my God, they're going to try to clean it up and dump their stock. The stock isn't going. The stock will eventually go up again.
I agree.
If you get in the stock market and you're going to be antsy about it,
You shouldn't
then
be in
don't
it.
get in it.
Yeah.
No, it's just like doing an IRA or a 401k, and I have an RA now, and it's for something I don't even think about it until 13, 14 years from now. That's when I'm kind of hoping that thing. You just got to be patient because it
And
goes
we're
up.
Ann and I are getting close to that point, and Steve and Jan are at that point.
And see, I'm not there yet. I'm still. So I got a lot to do with that thing still. And
So within the next few years, we're going to have to start. You have to start taking money out of your IRA.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've taken out the last 2 years. I've taken out of my IRA just
Yeah.
with
We
when
did
you
last year.
I took $10,000 out this year to help myself, the business. I'm just glad I have it.
Yeah.
But that was years. I started doing a 401k at the Press Citizen, I think, in like '93. So I had that. Had that for over 20 something. Glad I did.
Yeah.
I got about $80,000 from Gannett.
That's pretty good.
That's money I wouldn't have gotten had I just tried to save. So
basically, our whole lives, our retirement, everything is
done.
waged on a guy that drinks too much, showing flashcards to a guy that doesn't want to read anything longer than a couple sentences.
Yeah.
yes.
You got it.
Does Trump drink?
No, not at all. Doesn't drink, doesn't
he doesn't
do
drink at
drugs,
all?
doesn't smoke.
Well, I know he wants
No.
weed. I think he would like to have weed.
No, he hasn't done anything.
No, I think he would like to make weed illegal again, wouldn't he? Isn't that kind of what they're, which is
No, he doesn't. Sessions
does.
does.
Which is just ridiculous. I love how
Well, Sessions was shut up on that, if you notice.
I love how you have these meetings. You see these people meet and discussing making it illegal as they're drinking wine, and it is kind of funny. Like what Jeff said, you pick and choose what things are legal and what aren't.
Well, it's like when they're discussing women's rights and the room's filled with white men.
Yeah.
There's no
13
women.
white men.
Speaking of white men, when I was
Old
driving,
white men.
I had to take this way out here today because of
Yeah.
I've been told to stay away because of rag. So I took the back route. It was like driving out to do militia practice. You're driving out in the middle of the country. All these big, tall cornmen. I was like, God, I felt like I was like in the Michigan militia.
So do we imagine that Sand Road's pretty
till noon tomorrow.
busy
I've been told
right
to stay
now?
away.
I would think.
It's not? God, I was told to stay away till noon tomorrow. That it's going to. Isn't it going to be busy? Aren't a bunch of them coming in? Aren't they staying at Mercer Park?
They closed the soccer park. I usually cut through the soccer park, so I had to take.
I mean, they're staying at Mercer Park tonight.
They're having a get-together at Terry Trueblood between 11 and 3.
But then I thought a bunch of them are camping at Mercer Park.
Between
told.
Sycamore and Napoleon over here, there were like 20 of them maybe. Not in a pack or anything. It was easy to get through.
Oh, then I'm going to
it's
go.
early. I mean, they're coming from Sigourney, so. And
But what do you think it'll be at 10:30?
But I'd imagine by like noon it's going to get crazy.
Okay, do I take?
I don't know. There was a family of raccoons when I was coming in.
Riding on ragbrag?
And they wouldn't get out of the way, though, when I turned. No, they wouldn't get out of the way.
Hopefully you called the police.
I did. I said, there's these raccoons acting crazy.
Crazy.
I think they're sick and vicious.
I did it.
I'm crazy.
Knock it off!
That's a good song. You like that song?
Yeah.
I still don't.
So that was only 5 notes.
I
so
still
we
don't
should
think.
be okay.
I still don't think he's being serious either.
No, I am being serious. Hey, Tommy, am I not being serious about this?
So somebody from YouTube told you that you can't even hum songs.
No. What we first learned was when Molly went on the air and played a song and instantly got flagged.
What song was it?
It was that when she got off the air. She got off the air and left the recording there. And within 10 minutes, we got flagged that she had been banned in 242 countries.
I've actually heard they want her dead in Bangladesh. No, they want to kill her. They got big things. Death to Molly Suter. So, okay, you got that from YouTube?
Yes.
How does it come? I mean,
automatically emails you.
And she was banned for playing a...
Yeah.
For playing a song, yes.
Yeah. Little Mix, shout out to my ex.
For playing a song that you guys then posted on YouTube. She played the song on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
And it can't be disseminated. It can be... We have the rights to air things live.
So if you played a song live on All Hawkeyes, they could ban us?
Yes.
And would.
Yeah, they will, and they will automatically. You're not going through a tribunal or anything. And this is what, okay, and this brings us back to the Russian investigation. This is how this crap works. We know where everything is coming from. So YouTube searches the video that you leave up. Okay? A machine, a computer searches the video, and if it hears the notes, it recognizes instantly what you're doing. It recognizes where it's copyrighted, where it's not, and it instantly sends you an email. And if you get so many strikes, goodbye. You get 1 strike, you're banned for 3 weeks. 2 strikes, you're banned for 3 months. 3 strikes, you're out.
Wow, that sucks.
That's the way it works.
YouTube sucks.
I guess it does.
Well, the option to it is going back to Ustream and paying thousands of dollars
or not,
a month.
or just staying live. And
yeah,
I mean, maybe one of these days we won't even do it all Hawkeyes podcast. We'll just do a live show and just play all the music we want, and then basically give this to YouTube.
We can do that.
We don't have to put that show on. How about that? We'll do that someday, Captain.
We can do
we'll
that.
We'll promote it.
Because you're still streaming audio. We stream audio 24 hours a day.
Yeah. But someday we'll do a special show for
A music extravaganza.
Hawkeyes and music.
You know, I've been asked to, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with the Saturday shows? Do you want them recorded or do you want them just the audio? I don't care.
Well, I have to talk to Feeney.
Yeah, talk to Feeney.
But Feeney makes those big decisions.
Well, talk to Feeney. Hello?
Hey, guys, what do you know about that Mackay Sargent?
Just what Kirk has told us. No, stat-wise, he ran for 1,400 yards last year at Iowa Western. He's about 5'10", 215. He's built like James, a little bigger James Butler. That's how I would describe him. And Kirk says that he's the kind of running back that he thinks can succeed at Iowa. I think he's the kind of guy that can give them 15, 20 carries. He's physical. He's not a burner by any means. But, yeah.
I mean,
what's that?
When I read about him, and I couldn't find very many highlights on him, but, I mean, some of these guys like that Keyshawn Bryan and you know, this kid, he's played against pretty decent competition, hasn't he, at Iowa Western at least? I mean,
yes, and I don't think they would have added him if they didn't think that he could help right away. I mean, he's got the size. He's a big kid. Like I said, they list him, I think, at like 5'10", 210, so he's kind of short and stocky. I saw one tape of him, a highlight tape from Iowa Western, where it showed him breaking some long runs. He's not a burner by any means, but I do think that he's a guy that's going to give them a chance. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he can crack that top two. I don't think he would come here if he didn't think he could give a serious run for playing time to Ivory Kelly-Martin and Torrin Young. To me, he's more similar to Torrin Young than Ivory Kelly-Martin.
And it looks like the staff probably thought he had a better chance of success here than Jarrell Brock. Don't you think?
That, I don't know. I've heard stuff that Brock I think they would love for Jarrell Brock to have committed earlier. I just don't think he was moving fast enough for him. And they just said, hey, we've got other options. We're moving on. I don't know if they liked I don't know if they liked McKay because they really liked Jarrell Brock. He was priority number one for a long time, and I just don't think he was moving fast enough for them. And they had other guys who wanted to commit, and they had to make a choice. That's my spin on it. I don't know if that's right or not.
It's because the kid from Georgia. I mean, for that, they're the same year, correct?
Tyler Goodson, 2019. Yep.
You know, I mean, and the kid from Georgia. I mean, from what you read, like you say, you read it. Everybody says something different, but the kid from Georgia sounded like he was ready to roll, wanted to do it now, and that kid that Brock kid was just dragging his feet. You know, I don't want to say this about a kid, but making a spectacle of it.
Well, and obviously he liked Iowa State too. It's obvious that he liked Iowa State, so I'm wondering if maybe if the coaches knew this kid just can't decide between us and Iowa State. So, and Tyler wants to commit to us. We got this kid
decide for him,
and this kid in JUCO's interested. We like him, so let's just take them and move on. I think that's what happened.
What kind of a running back is that Bryant? Is he supposed to be a speedster or
more of a
what kind of guy?
Well, I'm based just on Huddle film because he hasn't played here. I'd say he's more of a shiftier back, more of an elusive back. He's not a power guy, but he's not the ultimate speedster either. He's kind of an in-betweener, but I'd say he's more elusive than power.
And he's been battling injuries.
Well, his arm was in a sling all last year, so he's had injury problems, but he's somebody who I think we've all kind of forgotten about, and it's a good point by this caller to bring him up. He's an option there that nobody's really considering right now, but it's a kid from Florida. You never know. I mean, to be honest with you a little bit, I actually thought maybe he might be part of their attrition, just far away from home, but sticking with it, so more power to him, and we'll see. I mean, he's definitely, but no, he's not a big power back.
And Bryant, I mean, it doesn't matter who your offers are, but he decommitted from South Carolina, didn't he?
I believe so, yes.
Yes,
right. He did. Yeah, he did.
So, I mean, other people saw something in him, too.
Oh, without question. And he's from Florida, so he played against great competition, so we shall see.
He's at Rudolph High School, I believe, is where he came from.
Yes, Aquinas. So, yeah, he's played against great competition. So, like I said, he's got good roots and what have you. It's just we got to see him. When you redshirt and get injured, you kind of fall off the map for a while.
And, hey, guys, one more thing, and I know this is all Hawkeyes, but they need to fix something on this, on the Iowa boys high school stuff with the TV.
It's ridiculous.
It is terrible.
It's ridiculous. I sat there and watched a couple softball games last week because it was just right there, and now you can't watch baseball. I mean, I'm with you, caller.
Yeah, it's $6.95. After
that 3A, the 3A tournament, between the teams that were there was 89 appearances and 22 state championships combined out of them teams, man.
You got Regina playing tomorrow at 1:30. I mean, no, I'm with you. It sucks.
Yeah, we're on the radio. I'll be listening to the Heelan Assumption game at 1:30 today. So that Solon game, that Heelan Solon game was a hell of a game.
That's what I was told. Yeah, tough loss for Solon, but they had a great season. But no, that was a good game, I was told.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right,
have a
thanks.
good one.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
But no, and I know this is all Hawkeyes, but we've talked. That's ridiculous.
Oh, that's
Hey, listen, when you are paying what you're paying for your school systems, okay, for the Iowa High School Athletic Association to sell it out, and you can't even watch your relatives can't watch their kids. It's nothing. It's crap. To have to pay $6.96 or $95
right.
for a feed. It's nothing. It's nothing but garbage, and you can't go there, and you can't photograph your kid.
Well, for the people living here, if you want.
Yeah,
I'm from Des Moines.
Ridiculous.
Des Moines is a 4-hour round trip. That's a lot of time for people. No, I'm with you. It's ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous. It's greed, and it's what's hurting some of these school bond referendums.
More greedy, YouTube or the boys' union?
Boys' union.
Suitor?
Yes.
Wow.
No, I mean it's
boys' union. At least that's
it is absolutely ludicrous what we're paying to carry these games.
I agree. No, I agree.
We aren't making any money off these games.
Well, you can't because they take the profit away from you, and those are getting. And
that's why KXIC doesn't do them. That's why you don't hear them on 1600. You don't hear them. I mean, I think Richard said there were like maybe one other radio station there. I mean, this is our mantra. We have to do this. We've been over it, time and time again, Suter and I, duking it out.
How about all the playoff games I missed, though? You should have made millions of dollars from what you didn't have to pay me.
No, we didn't lose as much. But, I mean, you can't make you don't make any money off of it. And it's just ridiculous.
No, I agree with you. And I don't know.
And I mean,
doesn't this contract expire here shortly with Comcast out of Chicago?
Yeah, but that's not going to change what they do. They're going to they'll dish it out to another.
I think they're under a lot of pressure. I think when that contract's up, if they don't rectify this, what do we got?
Breaking news. University of Iowa junior tight end Noah Fant has been named a Walter Camp Award player to watch. The announcement was made Friday by the Walter Camp Football Foundation.
Okay, I thought it was. I mean,
no shocker.
The watch list things are. I mean,
I know
Kirk. Whenever we talk to Kirk about the watch, he kind of rolls his eyes. It's great publicity. These kids have earned it, but there's just too many watch lists. Are you on a watch list?
I was on. I was on Billboard's medium market disc jockey to watch in 1982. And they watched me.
That's my junior year of high school.
I was on the Watch to Languish watch list.
That was 36 years ago.
Yeah.
That's when your band was you were just getting going, weren't you?
83?
Oh, 83 is when you started?
No, we started at 81 was our first gig.
It's good that the kids they need the recognition. It makes them feel good. It makes them strive to do something. So
Noah Fant, it's going to be interesting to see if he can live up to expectations, because it's not often that Iowa has a guy going into a season who's a consensus preseason All-American.
So now do we imagine that he's going to get double-teamed a lot so that his numbers may not go up, could actually go down?
Well, I mean, he didn't catch a lot of balls last year anyway. He only caught 30 balls.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a ton. He just had so many touchdowns. I think it's going to be harder for him to slip past defenses like he did now. There's going to be some plays where just his athletic ability stands out. I mean, the guy's 6'4", 240, and can run a 4.6 40 and jump 40 inches. He's a freak. So some of that defenses won't be able to contain. But no, he's not going to sneak up on. I mean, it took about half the season before people really realized, wow, this Noah Fant is something. I mean, and I think that will be a luxury he doesn't have this year. But you also got to watch T.J. Hawkins, and I've told you, I think there's going to be times where they use 3 tight ends and put one of them in as a fullback, and the defenses are going to have to keep guessing. They could have 4 tight ends. And I could see a formation. Let's say you have Nate Whiting at fullback. You put Noah Fant at wide receiver. You put T.J. Hawkinson and a Sean Byer or a Drew Cook at the line of scrimmage. I think you can do that, can't you? Yeah,
absolutely.
one of those guys is probably going to get open, and it's probably going to be either Byer or Cook because everyone else is going to draw so much attention. And Kirk has said before, and he said it numerous times over in Chicago, they're going to find more ways to use these tight ends. They have to. That's part of the challenge, and I'm sure Brian Ferentz is probably loving this. To me, that's having this big loaded toolbox, and it's up to you to become as creative as you can with it. And I'd be curious to see what they do, because I do think we're going to see times where there's 4 tight ends out there at the same time. It's just that Fant will be playing receiver. That's just my gut
I'm all
feeling.
For getting more creative.
Oh,
It could be great.
Yeah, especially when your receivers are still suspect. I mean, if the receivers are struggling halfway into the season, it's still a lot of the same. You watch, you're going to start seeing probably Noah Fant lined out a lot more out in the flank. I mean, because they may have to do that if the tight ends are proving that they should play. I mean, and a lot of these tight ends have shown that they. I mean, Nate Whiting had a big catch in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Kirk singled him out as being probably the most improved player throughout the spring and summer. So, I mean, he mentioned his one name, and
yes,
Kirk,
he did.
So that's interesting there too. So yeah, they are loaded at tight end. What's wrong?
Oh, just no more stuff on CNN. Cohen is telling people what he heard, and he said the only thing he hasn't heard is the phone ringing on 1600. So.
I didn't see that one coming. Did you?
No.
Did not see that one.
No,
coming.
that was a well-masked play by Steve there.
Thanks.
See, you're up in your game a little bit, because you noticed we were starting to. Suter was starting to.
Steve had 4 tight ends in on that joke.
You caught us. I mean, one of them just ran right by Suter and I, and you completed the pass.
I'm on a watch list from the University of Cardiac.
No, you're on the YouTube watch. You're on the YouTube watch list. Okay, does Fant catch 11 touchdown passes this year? What's your guess?
I'd say no.
I would say no too. I bet he gets somewhere between 6 and 10. I think Hawkinson may get him more, but I do think
Hawkinson may get a few more.
Sean Byer, Drew Cook, and Nate Whiting may get more opportunities too, because so much attention is going to be shown to Noah Fant.
I would look for the tight ends touchdowns to go up this year. I mean, as an aggregate,
they combined for 4. I mean, Fant 11. They had 14 last year. I don't think any other tight ends besides Fant and Hawkinson caught.
And I would look for that to go up a little bit.
I could see that going up, because I do think Sean Byer. I think Sean Byer is going to contribute some this year, and I think you're going to see 2 or 3 tight ends on special teams. But do you think they're going to have a running back rush for at least 800 yards?
Yes.
You think one of the two? So you think somebody's going to?
I think Torrin Young will rush for 800 plus yards.
And then how about Ivory Kelly Martin?
Maybe 600 or 700.
And do you think Mekhi Sargent is in the mix?
Yeah, I think he's. Yeah. I mean, how many yards do we have to get? I mean, do you think we have to get up to 1,800 yards rushing?
Well, I think they better run for at least. I mean, I think you got to average at least 150 to have any semblance.
And
of
that's
balance. And that's not always,
that's 1,800.
And they don't always do that. I
mean,
I know they don't always do that. I think when Iowa. I mean, we know that when they don't rush for 100, they suck. They lose almost all the time. So, yeah, I think they need to average at least 150 to 175 this season to get the balance, and we'll see. I mean,
so if those three if they do 864,
if they did
that's
that
1,800.
That would be great. If they had an 800, a 600, and a 400, that would be incredible. That'd be very rare that they did. And what's misleading is, as great as that 09 season was with Weger and Robinson, and wasn't there one other running back? Wasn't it 3?
I thought it was mostly Weger and Robinson. I can't remember
that team
who the
finished like 11th or.
Jewel Hampton.
That team finished like next to last in the Big Ten in rushing offense. Wow. I mean, it just wasn't that good, but still they did enough for them. So stats can be sort of misleading, but to me, on offense, I know the receivers are a big question. Don't get me wrong, but I still have to see the rushing attack.
Absolutely, and I mean the volume of historic information for Kirk's tenure here. If we don't rush for 100 yards, we're not going to win.
No, and right now, to me, I'm not saying the offensive line is suspect, but it's a little when you lose James Daniels, Sean Welsh, Ike Betker, Brood Myers, and I know those 2 of those guys were hurt a lot last year, but it showed. They struggled last year.
It did.
You lose basically what were your 4 of your 5 starters. I still have to see. I'm just if other than punter, I'd have to say my biggest concern if I was an Iowa fan about this season not living up to expectations will be if the running game never gets going. If the offensive line just sputters and they don't have good enough individual talent at running back to make up for that, because let's face it, they don't have an Akram Wadley who can slip a defender who gets unblocked and turn a potential 3-yard loss into a 60-yard gain. They don't have that type of running back right now. At least I've seen nothing to suggest that. To me, that's the biggest concern for me is how well will this offensive line gel and how will the running game go to protect Stanley, to protect the tight ends, to give room and space and opportunity for the receivers. That, to me,
absolutely.
Punting is an issue, too, and it's huge. Don't get me wrong. You punt, but you only punt 6-7 times a game. You run the ball 30 to 40 times a game, ideally. And I need to see this Iowa running attack before, because just from judging, because I've noticed some of my colleagues have done predictions and pick them 9-3, 8-4. I think the guy from your boy from the Register had him 8-4. I think Chad had. I didn't read it, but I think he had him 8-4, which I think a lot of people were offended by that because I saw some of the responses. Oh, anything less than 10. See,
but that's history. History says 8-4.
Exactly, and history also says that fans are going to end up being burnt. A lot of fans do this every year, and then if they go 8-4, they're mad because they didn't live up to their unrealistic. Well, with this schedule, there's no reason we should go worse than 10-2. Well, yeah, there's lots of reasons. Just look at past. It happens all the time.
1,000 different.
I think 8-4 is fair. I think 9-3 is fair. I mean, you start going 10-2. To me, I think you're being way too presumptuous. You go 7-5, 6-6. I think you're being way too cynical. I think right now this is an 8-4, 9-3 team on paper, and I don't think that Iowa State game. I haven't done my picks yet, but right now I'm leaning toward picking them to lose to Iowa State and beat Wisconsin. I just have a weird feeling that's what's going to happen this year.
I would take that in a second.
I think a lot of people would.
Yeah.
I think and if you lose to this Iowa State team and it goes on to win 8 or 9 games, that's not a bad loss. It's a sucky loss that drives you nuts. Don't get me wrong.
You're at home. You should probably take care. Should probably win that game. But we almost lost last year.
Well, there's been many times in the last 20 years where they were at home and they lost.
Absolutely.
To much worse Iowa. So I throw that type of logic out the door with Iowa State anymore. It just never seems to add up.
No, it doesn't.
Nothing ever seems to add up. They can lose or win at any time. But sooner or later, I just have a feeling they're going to beat Wisconsin this year.
Well, the 41-3 from 2 years ago was an anomaly. It was Campbell's first year, and
that
doesn't.
I don't think that will ever happen again under Matt Campbell.
No, I agree with you.
I don't think that will happen. So we'll see. I'm going back and forth. I like to take some chances. Last year I took a chance, and I remember when I had them beating Penn State, people thought I was nuts.
We were one play
and
off.
they almost did it. I mean. And so we'll see. But I would not be surprised at all if they lost Iowa State and beat Wisconsin. I mean, I think that Wisconsin game last year was sort of a perfect storm of misery. And let's remember, just 15, they beat them in Camp Randall. So it's not like they can't do it. I just have this weird feeling they're going to get that Wisconsin.
Well, I hope you're right, but our offense has scored 17 points
against
against Wisconsin in 3 years.
But I also think that Wisconsin still wins the division because I think I'm going to have Iowa going 6-3 or 5-4 in conference play, whereas I think Wisconsin's going to go 7-2. I think 7-2 is going to win the West this year, and I think that'll be Wisconsin. I'm not sure who their other loss will be, and I haven't decided yet. I'm going to wait and do my picks a little closer to media day. But those are two games that that game at Purdue. I mean, that's
going to be a tough. I mean, they beat us at Kinnick last year. So
they lose a lot, but that's a tough game.
They lose a lot of their defense.
And I don't know what to make of Minnesota this year.
That on any given day in the Big Ten, the worst team can beat the best team.
Sure.
And, just look a couple of years ago when we were at Rutgers, what a horrible football game that was. But if that one player for them hadn't gotten hurt, I don't know that we would have beaten them.
No, but now that wasn't the worst team against the best team.
No, it wasn't.
But no, I mean, I understand what you mean, though. You're right. I mean, there's a lot more depth and a lot more things can happen. And, well, Iowa's showing that. I mean, look at Kirk's. I mean, they lost to Northern Illinois in 2013, almost lost to them in 2012. They've lost twice to Western Michigan. They've lost to Central
North Dakota State.
North Dakota. I mean, it can happen.
And it took 2 blocked field goals to beat Northern Iowa. And that team went on to be lights out.
With Iowa football, you can't make any assumptions.
You really can't.
And I don't really fault anyone for picking them to go 8-4. That's not like an insult. And some Iowa fans need to get that out of their head that picking this team to go 8-4, that's not an insult. That's you're picking with your gut and your heart. And I mean, 8 wins is nothing to sneeze at, even though that seems to be this year is setting up to either be a great year or a big pooper, because a lot of fans I talk to think anything less than 9 or 10, and this team's failing, and
But
that's dangerous.
I just don't know that you can ever predict that for Iowa.
I don't think you
know?
can, but I'm just telling you what I'm reading and what I'm hearing.
I mean, I'm leaning towards 9-3, but 8-4 or 7-5 would not shock me in any way.
No, what would shock me would be 5-7, 6-6,
Yes.
unless they have a rash of injuries. If Nate Stanley goes down and the other two quarterbacks struggle, then anything can happen.
And a 12-0 would shock me.
Oh, that would shock me too. Yeah. So we shall see.
We done?
We're done. I looked up and it's
We're
done.
broke it down.
We broke it down.
Broke it down.
No singing, no nonsense.
No music.
I'll start. I just haven't had time these last couple of days to look. I'll start getting some more guests on, and we're going to have Coach Patterson on here in the next. I'll talk to him this weekend about seeing
maybe after the it starts, after camp starts.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I want to have him on at least once or twice before the game starts.
Because he goes to the camp.
Oh, he goes to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get Don on, and he's agreed to start doing the Monday things. We get those going again.
Awesome.
Once the
I
season
talked
starts.
to him. I said, you can't sing anything from Hamilton.
Well, from Hamilton.
Well, then he
You
got,
don't even know what you don't even know what Hamilton is.
Andy Hamilton?
No, not Andy Hamilton.
George Hamilton?
No, not George. No, it's
Hamilton, Joe Franken Reynolds?
No.
Andrew Hamilton? Wasn't there?
There's it's Hamilton. It's the musical.
Why would I know that?
I don't know.
Seriously,
Maybe you
why
went
would
to
I-
Broadway.
No.
I don't know. Maybe
Why
you
would I-
go home and you listen to Broadway albums.
No.
And South Pacific. Do you ever listen to South
God, no.
Pacific?
No.
I'm just wild about Harry. Did you ever
No.
sing that?
I may go home. You know what I'm going to go home and listen to? I'm going to go home and listen to A Message to You, Rudy, and I'm going to pretend that I'm on YouTube.
Why don't you?
I'm going to pretend that I'm on YouTube.
Go home and turn the faucet so it's just dripping, and imagine all the drugs going into Jim Morrison's body.
And with that, all right. AllHawkeyes.com. Get your subscription this day.
1-800-800-ROSE. 1-800-800-ROSE. Your FTD florist is the only number you need to know to send flowers anywhere in the country or Canada from anywhere in the country. 1-800-800-ROSE. It's so easy. Just remember